Hey guys, Andy here. As you may have guessed, I quite like making videos. It's kind of why I've got a YouTube channel in a lot of ways. But even not just kind of tech reviews, I like just making videos. The last holiday we went on was like 10 days, 11 days. After I'd edited it all together, the holiday video was over 3 hours long. I just like filming stuff. So one thing that helps when you're filming is a gimbal. Now, if you don't know what a gimbal is, effectively it's something that holds your recording device steady. As you move your hand around, it kind of just keeps it steady in one place rather than it jiggling and moving. And you might have seen these, like, I don't know what you call them now, to be honest, the ones that they use on TV where a guy runs onto the pitch when I'm watching American football, for example, and he's got this like body thing strapped on. It's got like an arm that then has the camera there, and so as he runs about, the picture is like perfectly smooth. He jumps about and the camera stays exactly where it is. Obviously they're going to be thousands of pounds. I've got one actually for my GoPro, but I just don't use the GoPro very much for filming, not unless it's stuck to my motorbike or my helmet or something like that. It's just not as useful. It's not got a screen on it. I prefer, you know, I've got an amazing phone. The Pixel 2 XL's got an amazing camera. I thought, well, actually, I'm more likely to use it if I've got a gimbal that I can use the phone in. So I did a quick search on Google, best mobile phone gimbals or something like that. And one of the top things that came up was, I think it was the Independent, as in the newspaper, but their website. They did like a top 5 gimbals. And most of them were kind of £270, £220, £250. But this one here, the Zhiyun Smooth Q on Amazon, on their website it said 129 on their review. On Amazon it's actually down to 99. There are different options and I'm not entirely sure what the different options mean. Because ZWBO2, maybe that's a newer one actually. Oh, I think there's even more than I saw the other day. Anyway, one with a plus cramp. What's the cramp? I don't know. I bought the £99 one. I didn't want to spend a lot on it. £99 seemed quite a good price. So I've started cutting in. Oh, I can't get it there. Into the cellophane. So we're just gonna, oopsie, smash the camera about a little bit. I'm gonna try and break my way in. So I can see where there's a microfiber cloth, I guess. Oh, that's stuck on the back, okay. So I think it's a microfiber cloth. It looks like a microfiber cloth. Okay, I've got loads of those, but it doesn't hurt to have more. See what else it says on the box. Direct mobile charge through the gimbal, so you can plug the phone into a USB port on the gimbal. Instant manual zooming control, so I think that's through their own app, so you can install their app which will connect to the device, which lets you control the footage on the phone from the gimbal. 12-hour continuous work time, so it does say it's a 26,650 Li-ion battery. That's pretty big. Two-way mounting frame for easy switch, so you can have portrait or landscape as you're supposed to do. Anything else? Accessories included. It's a little carry case, I think. It's quite a big box. I might actually struggle to open it around the microphone here. Let's see if I can get in. See, it's funny when you look at the pictures. The case, I don't know. The case looks a lot smaller than that. It's kind of a soft touch bag. And then it's quite a nice little case. It's kind of slightly rubbery, slightly give you goosebumps type feeling. Let's just throw the bag outside, pop that to the side. So we've got an instruction manual, which I might actually need. We've got a couple other, okay. Right. We've got a couple other bits here. That looks to just be the strap, and that looks to just be the micro USB cable, neither of which I particularly need at this point, but I might need the instructions. So here's they're quite nice, sort of rubberized zipper handles. It's probably this way around, I guess. And there is the gimbal itself. So there's a micro USB, which I guess is for charging the gimbal. And then down the bottom is the USB type A for charging your phone from the gimbal. At the bottom is also, I forgot how many inches, 1/4 of an inch. It does like a fairly standard jack connector, so that could go on a tripod or something else. I never quite understood why you'd, I suppose you get smooth panning. I was gonna say, I don't quite understand why you'd put a gimbal on a tripod. So a gimbal used for making cameras still when filming, put on a tripod used for making cameras still when filming. So I'm not, but I guess you would attach it on and then it lets you pan, you can pan around and keep it nice and smooth. So yeah, I see that, I suppose. Let's kind of ditch the case down to the side again. So it's quite a weighty device. Kind of rubberized now. So the first test, that's the, it says it can take phones up to 220 grams, which I'm reasonably sure the Pixel would be fine. I think the Pixel, there's not many phones are over 200 grams, put it that way. Maybe it's 190, somewhere around there. And the way we have to come around this, whoa, that's a bit worrying. Well, it's turned off. And the way it should work, it'll snap into action, and it's got 3 different axes, if you can see. So is it 3? We'll see. So there's one at the base there, that rotates that way. There's one at the back, that rotates that way. There's one on the end there, that rotates that way. Oh, and I'm playing a trailer. How on earth did I turn that on? Anyway, so the logic being, any movement you make, or you can make any movement you want, you can't see me, hello. The phone in theory, I mean, I'm not doing a very good job of it, whoa, but in theory the phone can stay exactly where it is. So let's just look for a second at the actual controls there. So we've got like a D-pad, I guess you call it, and that kind of moves up and down, left and right. So it is a sort of multi-directional, goes pretty much anywhere. We've got a zoom in and out, look, wide angle, telephoto, got mode, and we've got record. Oh, lights came on. I should probably check if I want to do it at this point. So normally, you know, my plan with these sort of things is unbox is stage 1, use item for a while is stage 2, record, kind of reviewability stage 3. What we will do though, I'm going to slip in an extra stage of kind of quickly having a look at the instructions, getting a rough idea what I'm doing, and then actually, no, maybe now I'll just use it for a few days and I can come back then and show you how it works properly, having used it for a few days. So we'll call it quits at this point, and via the magic of video editing, I will be back momentarily. And here I am. So I've not used it for days and days. I've basically just had a bit of a quick play with it really, but I think that's given me enough sort of insight into how it works and what it can do as well really, which is the important thing. So here it is, nicely packed away in its carry case. Fits very nice, goes in very easily. One thing I realised, so for me having a big phone, you have to loosen this screw, slide it out to adjust the centre of gravity, but that means you can't pack it away in that state. So you need to remember to sort of loosen the screw up and drop it back in at that point. Now obviously you can leave the screw loose while it goes in, that's fine. Just remember to tighten it up once your phone's in place. The other thing is make sure you've got some clearance between the bottom of the phone and the point that you see there, because you can actually put the phone in place and it won't spin through on that axis. So just push the phone over the other way. Also, it does cause some vibration if you get the phone too close to that bottom axis. You see the vibration there? As I was sort of lowering the phone down to get a low shot, and it was spinning through. Look how bad that was. It was a little bit annoying, but again, I just sort of make sure the phone was pushed far enough away so it's not anywhere close, and it was fine. So the gimbal itself has 3 different modes. Here we are in the first mode that it will default to when you turn it on. It locks the up and down, so we're going to keep that sort of pointed at the horizon, and anywhere I move, it's going to adjust to suit. So as I sort of move around the bike here and I sort of push the gimbal to the left and the right, it will follow me left and right, if that makes sense. It's only the up and down that's locked in place. We're going to switch over to mode 2, which locks in place the left and right as well. So now as I move back and forth and move the gimbal side to side, it keeps it facing perfectly forwards as well as flat to the horizon. It can be useful for some things, I suppose. Then we're going to move to mode 3, which is kind of a follow me type mode. It sort of locks everything. So anything that I change angle on the gimbal, it's just going to go with it. And obviously it's going to do it in a smoother manner, hopefully, than if... Oh, and I'll apologise for how dirty the bike is. It has been a bit wet, and it's going to... Anyway, this one can be the handiest because you can quite easily just point it at whatever you want to point it at, and that's going to film it. Which gives you sort of the more freedom, but you lose some, I suppose, some of the benefits of the gimbal. It obviously still keeps it nice and smooth, hopefully, but it means you can't as easily get down and do some of the stuff like this because you've got to make sure you're pointing in the right direction. Now, if you do have some of the accesses locked, you can still operate it using the D-pad that we looked at earlier. So at this point, just the up and down axes are locked, so I can push up and I can push down on the D-pad to manually adjust that one. I can't do left and right because the left and right aren't locked. If I locked everything, then I can use the D-pad to change everything. So how does it actually perform? This is me just walking along, using the front-facing camera. I'm not making any particular effort to be smooth. Generally, I mean, you can tell that I'm walking along. It's not magical. And here we switch to the front-facing camera. I think this is where it looks better, to be honest, because you can see how much I'm moving and how little the camera is moving itself. Let's move it a bit further away from me to get a better frame of my ugly self. And here we go. I'm even running. Look, it's not often you catch me running, but that is me running. And again, that's pretty smooth. And we'll switch to the front-facing camera again to see I'm moving about quite a lot, and actually that camera is staying very still. So for me, all in all, I was really impressed. For just £99, I think it's a pretty damn good gimbal. If you're into filmmaking, video making, you use your phone to do it, I certainly think it's worth checking out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But for now, my name's Andy, and I'll catch you all again soon. You made it all the way to the end. Well done. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe by clicking the little fellow over on this side of the screen. You might also want to check out the other videos. Should be just there. Check out my website as well, androidandy.uk, made by me. I'm learning HTML and PHP, so hopefully it's functional. But I'll see you again in the next video.